Human history, much like the history of the natural world, is a story of conflict and competition. For millennia, groups have clashed over territory, resources, ideas. Their struggles echo through the ages. Today we journey back in time to witness 10 such extraordinary moments. We will count down the most famous battles that have fundamentally shaped our world. Encounters where the fate of empires, cultures, entire civilizations hung precariously in the balance. These are not merely tales of bloodshed. They are the crucibles in which our present was forged. Each confrontation we will explore represents a pivotal turning point, a moment where the great river of history was diverted into a new and often unexpected channel. From the sun-scorched plains of antiquity to the frozen ruins of modern cities, the echoes of these battles still resonate. Join me, Mostafa Nasser, as we uncover the profound impact of these monumental clashes. Prepare to witness the 10 battles that sculpted the world we inhabit today. Our journey begins in the year 490 BC, on a coastal plain in Greece. Under the watchful eye of Mount Pentelicus, a drama of immense significance is about to unfold. The Persian Empire, a colossal force stretching from the Indus Valley to Egypt, has set its sights on the small, fractious city-states of Greece. At Marathon, a Persian expeditionary force has landed, vastly outnumbering the Athenian army. The Athenian commanders, led by Miltiades, decide to strengthen their flanks, weakening their center. It is a tactic that requires immense discipline and courage from every single soldier, a belief not in a distant king, but in the man standing next to them. As the Persian forces surge forward, their powerful center pushes the weaker Greek line back, but then, the strengthened Greek flanks, having routed their counterparts, wheel inwards. They envelop the Persian corps in a pincer movement, a brilliant and devastating maneuver. The Persian force breaks, a great wave of panic sending them fleeing back towards their ships. The victory is absolute and its consequences are profound. We now travel far back in time to 480 BC. The Persian Empire, now under King Xerxes, has returned to Greece, this time with an army of almost unimaginable size. To reach the heart of Greece, this colossal force must pass through a narrow coastal pass known as Thermopylae, or the Hot Gates. Here, a tiny contingent of Greek soldiers led by 300 elite warriors from the city-state of Sparta have chosen to make a stand. From the age of 7, every male citizen is brutalized and forged by a relentless training regimen. Form their phalanx in the narrowest part of the pass, a wall of bronze. For 2 days the impossible happens. The Greeks hold the pass, but their stand is doomed by betrayal. A local resident shows the Persians a hidden mountain path. He and his 300 Spartans remain behind to fight to the last man. Their legendary stand became an immortal symbol of courage against overwhelming odds. We now leap forward to the year 1066. King Harold Godwinson has just defeated a Viking invasion in the north. He must now force march his exhausted army south. William, Duke of Normandy, lands on the Sussex coast. King Harold forms a formidable shield wall atop Senlac Hill. For hours, Norman horse and man assault the line. The Norman tide breaks like waves on a cliff of shields. William lifts his helmet and rallies his men. He orders a charge that turns into a feigned flight. The Saxons break formation and charge downhill. King Harold is struck down reputedly by an arrow to the eye. A new ruling class rises, a new language takes hold, a new political system reshapes England for centuries. Our story now takes us to northern France on the 25th of October, 1415. Here, a small English army, weary English army, disease-ridden English army, led by the young King Henry V, finds its path to the safety of Calais blocked by a vast French force. The ground between them is a freshly plowed field, soaked by days of relentless rain. But the English army possesses a secret weapon. This weapon is the English longbow. In the hands of a skilled yeoman, this simple stave of yew wood is capable of launching armor-piercing arrows. As the French begin their ponderous advance, the sky darkens. A storm of biblical proportions is unleashed upon them, but it is not of rain, it is a storm of English arrows. The arrows punch through visors and the weaker points of their magnificent armor. Horses wounded, horses panicked, career back into the ranks of the advancing men-at-arms, causing chaos. The English longbow had not only halted the flower of French chivalry, it had utterly destroyed it. For our final battle, we journey to the year 732. A century after the death of the Prophet Muhammad, the Islamic Caliphate has expanded with breathtaking speed, creating an empire that stretches from India to Spain. The kingdom of the Franks is, at this time, a fractured and decentralized realm. Its power lies not with its king, but with the mayor of the palace, a man named Charles. The Muslim cavalry, confident after decades of victory, finally launches a full-scale charge against the Frankish line, but Charles's infantrymen stand like a wall of ice. They form a large, disciplined square, their shields locked and spears bristling. The cavalry charges break against this immovable object again and again, unable to shatter the Frankish discipline. Abd al-Rahman is killed trying to rally his men, and as night falls, the Umayyad army retreats. Charles's victory was so decisive that he earned a new name, Charles Martel, or Charles the Hammer. The Battle of Tours is often cited as the moment the Islamic advance into Western Europe was decisively halted, preserving the Christian character of the continent, and paving the way for the rise of his grandson Charlemagne. We arrive now in the year 1815, on a gentle, rolling field in what is now modern-day Belgium. For over a decade, Europe has been convulsed by the ambition of one man, Napoleon Bonaparte. An emperor forged in the fires of revolution, his genius on the battlefield is legendary. Standing against him is a coalition of European powers, led by the stoic and unflappable Duke of Wellington. The battle is delayed by Napoleon himself. The ground is sodden from an overnight thunderstorm, and he waits for it to dry. Wellington knows he does not need to win, he merely needs to hold on. He has positioned his men along a ridge, using the terrain to shield them. French infantry columns assault Wellington's line, and are repulsed time and again by the disciplined volleys of the British redcoats, formed in defensive squares. The French cavalry, under the flamboyant Marshal Ney, launches a series of massive, awe-inspiring charges. Thousands of armored cuirassiers thunder up the slope, a sea of glittering steel and horseflesh. Yet, they break like waves against the unyielding rock of the British squares, unable to penetrate the hedge of bayonets. As the day draws to a close, Napoleon commits his last reserve, the elite of his army, the Imperial Guard. These were the veterans, the legends, men who had never known defeat. But Wellington has anticipated the move, his line holds, and for the first time in their history, the Imperial Guard recoils. At this decisive moment, the Prussian army finally arrives, smashing into Napoleon's right flank. The French army dissolves, and the Emperor's dream of a united Europe under his rule dies in the Belgian mud. We return to America, to the autumn of 1781. The American Revolution has been raging for 6 long years. The Continental Army, under General George Washington, has endured years of hardship, defeat, privation. Now, a golden opportunity presents itself. A major British army under Lord Cornwallis has established a base at Yorktown, Virginia. A French fleet under Admiral de Grasse has sailed from the Caribbean and won a crucial naval engagement against the British. George Washington, in a brilliant strategic deception, feigns an attack on New York City. While the British commander braces for assault, Washington secretly marches the bulk of his Continental Army hundreds of miles south to Virginia. They arrive at Yorktown and lay siege to Cornwallis's beleaguered army. Cornwallis, with no hope of rescue, is left with no choice. On October 19, 1781, he surrenders his entire army. As the British soldiers march out to lay down their arms, their bands are said to have played a tune called "The World Turned Upside Down," and so it had. The victory at Yorktown effectively ended the war and secured American independence, giving birth to a new nation founded on the principles of liberty. We cross the Atlantic now, to the summer of 1863. The United States of America is tearing itself apart in a brutal civil war. The Confederate States, fighting for their independence, the preservation of slavery, have taken a momentous gamble. General Robert E. Lee has led his Army of Northern Virginia deep into Union territory. Here, near the small town of Gettysburg, a chance encounter between two armies escalates into the largest and bloodiest battle ever fought on American soil. For 2 days, the battle has raged with unimaginable ferocity. Places with gentle, pastoral names, Little Round Top, the Devil's Den, the Wheatfield, are transformed into hellscapes of death and suffering. On the third and final day, Lee orders a massive frontal assault. Some 12,500 Confederate soldiers step out from the woods and begin their long, fateful march. This is Pickett's charge. A perfect, orderly formation marching calmly into a storm of cannon and rifle fire. Only a handful of men managed to breach the Union defenses at a point now known as the high water mark of the Confederacy. But they are too few. The charge is a catastrophic failure. Lee has lost and his army is shattered. Gettysburg was the turning point. Our journey now takes us into the heart of the 20th century's darkest conflict, to the winter of 1942. The German war machine, the Wehrmacht, which has seemed unstoppable for 3 years, has driven deep into the Soviet Union. Their target is a city on the Volga River, Stalingrad. What begins as a conventional battle quickly devolves into something far more primal. The battle becomes Rattenkrieg, the Rat War, fought not for ridges, not for fields, but for individual rooms. The Soviet Red Army under General Zhukov has been secretly amassing forces on the flanks. Operation Uranus, a massive pincer attack. It encircles the German 6th Army, some 300,000 men, trapping them inside the city. Hitler forbids a breakout, promises to resupply by air. The airlift fails. In February 1943, the last remnants surrender. We move now from the frozen plains of Russia to the vast, empty expanse of the Pacific Ocean. It is June 1942, 6 months after the devastating attack on Pearl Harbor. The Imperial Japanese Navy, confident and seemingly invincible, plans a decisive blow to eliminate the United States Pacific Fleet once and for all. However, the Americans possess a crucial advantage the Japanese are unaware of. U.S. Navy cryptanalysts have broken the Japanese naval code. Admiral Chester Nimitz knows Yamamoto's plan in intricate detail, his targets, his timing, his order of battle. The first waves of American torpedo bombers to find the Japanese fleet are slaughtered, yet their sacrifice is not in vain. At that precise instant, American dive bombers spot the fleet. In the most pivotal 6 minutes of the Pacific War, they plummet down. The American bombs hit this tinderbox, cataclysmic results. In moments, 3 carriers, Akagi Kagasoryu, a 4th, Hiryu, is found and sunk later that day. In a single stroke, the balance of naval power in the Pacific shifts, and Japan's advance is halted for good. And so, our journey through the corridors of conflict comes to an end. From the disciplined stand of the Spartans, to the fateful charge at Gettysburg, we have witnessed how single moments of extreme pressure can shape the destiny of nations, and define the course of human civilization. These battlefields are more than just historical footnotes. They are the birthplaces of the modern world. The courage, the folly, the sacrifice, and the sheer human drama enacted on these grounds echo through time, their consequences woven into the very fabric of our lives today. Each story is a powerful reminder that history is not an inevitable, predetermined path. It is a fragile narrative, perpetually balanced on a knife's edge, capable of being irrevocably altered by the decisions and actions of individuals in moments of crisis. The world we know was not guaranteed. It was won, lost, and fought for on these fields of conflict. By understanding these pivotal moments, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complex and often violent tapestry of our shared human story. The secrets of our past are all around us, waiting to be discovered. They tell us where we came from, but who we are. Enjoyed this fact? Subscribe to our channel and discover more amazing world secrets every day.